The Milwaukee Brewers had a 10% chance of making the playoffs on May 24th. Since then, they have the best record in baseball and look like an unstoppable machine. And if you look at their team, you're probably like, well, who are these guys? You know, they lost Willie Adames in the offseason, their star shortstop. Yet the Brewers are like the Guardians and the Rays in the sense where they're always competitive somehow and they find a way to hover around a playoff spot, even into late August and September. They do all the marginal stuff well, and that's where you win in baseball. They run the bases well, they hit with runners in scoring position. They make quality pitches when they need to, and they play sound defense. The Brewers do not have a superstar. In fact, they don't have a player in the top 50 in F-WAR on Fangraphs. They have 4 in the top 100, but none of them in the top 50. The big beef in the middle of this run was an 11-game winning streak that got them to 60-40 at 100 games. And in that streak, they beat the Dodgers 6 times, spanning pre- and post-All-Star break. They also won a key home series against the Cubs at the end of July that has bolstered them into being a first-place team in the National League Central. They didn't really have much of an offense. They were still pitching okay, doing the little things right, but they were not hitting the ball. That includes 21-year-old Jackson Chourio. He was not hitting well at all to start the season, and the team kind of felt the effects of that. But since that turning point in late May, he has an OPS of 870 in 243 plate appearances. Next to him is veteran star Christian Yelich, who has won an MVP in his career. Not playing on an MVP level per se, but he has been an all-star type player since that streak started in May. He has an OPS hovering around 900. But the guy who really caught fire in July was Isaac Collins, who won National League Rookie of the Month. And he has a weighted runs created plus of 150, and the highest walk rate on the team since they turned their season around. The Brewers acquired Andrew Vaughn in a trade for Aaron Savali in June, and since then Vaughn has turned into basically Aaron Judge OPS-wise. Vaughn was used to losing with the White Sox. He was on that team last year that lost the most games in MLB history up to this point. We're looking at you, 2025 Rockies. But he got off to an even worse start this season, and the White Sox just traded him. One man's trash is another man's treasure, right? Vaughn has turned into a great hitter once again, sparking the Brewers' offense and really filling the void that Hoskins left when he got hurt in early July. Then you have solid players like Bryce Terang and Sal Frelick. They do everything right. They do everything above average. Terang actually has taken a step back on defense where he won a Gold Glove last year, but he's gotten better as a hitter, leads the team in steals, a team that leads the league in steals. They're opportunistic. They not only lead the league in steals, but they also lead the league in attempts. During their season-defining streak, they've been first in base running runs above average and 4th in extra bases taken. Then you have a guy like William Contreras behind the plate who's not necessarily playing to a standard as an all-star in the past, but he's still anchoring a pitching staff that, again, is underrated. The left side of the infield is anchored by Caleb Durbin and Joey Ortiz. Ortiz moved from third base to shortstop after Adames left in the offseason. He's not done great hitting, but he's taken well to shortstop. And then Durbin is a gritty grinder who makes the most of his talent. The leader of this pitching staff is Freddie Peralta for his second year now, being the ace after Corbin Burns left in free agency. He's always been a high strikeout guy, and he just takes the ball and really knows how to lead that staff. He was an all-star once again in 2025. The guy who has joined Freddie Peralta at the top of this rotation is Quinn Priester, and he didn't even start the season with the Brewers. He was acquired from the Red Sox on April 7th. He's 10-0 during this hot streak over the last 2.5 months with a 2.38 ERA. He's a sneaker slider guy that gets a lot of ground balls. So that's a durable arm that I think will be a game 2 starter in the playoffs for them. They've gotten Brandon Woodruff back. He's been pitching for the last month. He's been his old self, if not even better. The Brewers are so deep that they had the luxury of sending Chad Patrick down. The rookie had a 3.52 ERA in 18 starts, keeping that rotation afloat, and was a big part of this turnaround. Jose Quintana has been a staple in the rotation too, solid like he always has been in his career. Know you were itching for this one. The guy, who did I leave out, right? Jacob Misiorowski, the Miz. Of course, who could forget him, the imposing righty who made an all-star team in just a handful of starts this season. He's currently on the injured list, but he's been electric when he's out there on the mound for the Brew Crew. Closer Trevor McGill has a 2.13 ERA and 25 saves, uses that high fastball to blow by hitters at triple digits. And McGill already has more saves this season than he has in his entire career, and he's pitched since 2021. A few other key members of the Brewers bullpen that I would like to mention are Abner Uribe and Jared Koenig. Uribe has 28 holds in 53 games and an ERA of 2.03. Koenig has a slightly higher ERA, but has 21 holds. The bullpen will also be bolstered by Shelby Miller at some point, maybe in mid to late August. The Brewers have all the ingredients of a team that can make a deep October run, especially after this turnaround. And although they're a little bit injured right now, Churio's on the injured list, Mizorowski's on the injured list, yeah, the aforementioned Miller, and also Hoskins still on the injured list, they're all expected to come back. But that just proves the strength and numbers mentality the Brewers have, where they could just fill a gap and keep winning. Obviously, that rhythm was thrown off the first 2 months of the season, but it's in full swing now at American Family Field, formerly Miller Park. And maybe, just maybe, this team has a little bit of magic with Bob Uecker watching over them.